In this video, we're going to show you how to add custom-styled Google Maps to your Webflow sites, and we're going to hook them up to your CMS items so you'll have a dynamic, custom-styled map on every one of your CMS collection item pages. Let's dive in. Okay, so I want to break down what we're doing so that you have an idea of where we are when we're going through the process. This can get a little complicated because we've got a few different tools that we're using. So here we go. What we're going to do is from our Webflow site, we're going to have an address. It's going to be a text field, and we are going to have a single line address stored in our Webflow collection item. When we load our page, what's going to happen is that address is going to be sent to the Google Cloud platform, the Maps platform. And what it's going to do is it's going to take that address and it's going to look up that address in their Places API. So we're going to get a location. And then what we actually need to do, because we're using a custom map, we then need to take that location and get the latitude, longitude of that location. And then we're going to take the latitude, longitude, and we're going to put that lat long on a map. These three steps are going to use the Places API, the JavaScript API, and the Geocoding API. So we need to make sure that all of those are turned on as well in our Google Cloud platform. I have the code that does all of this stuff, and we're going to look at it. So you can just copy paste this code. You're not going to have to write anything. You'll have to edit it a little, but to make it really easy for you, if you go to the No Code Collab website, I've got the code. You can copy paste it into your Webflow site. So we've looked up the location. We have the lat long. We put it on a map. Then what's happening, or the way I think of it, is then we go back and Webflow then loads up our styled map with that lat long on there. And we're going to use a tool called Snazzy Maps. There's a few different tools that you can use. You can actually style your map inside of the Google Cloud platform. I don't think it's quite as easy or fun. So we're going to use Snazzy Maps for that. So that is a quick overview of kind of what's happening when we are creating this custom map and we're loading this custom map onto Webflow. The steps that we're actually going to take, though, are we are going to first create our styled map. We're going to go to Snazzy Maps right away here. We're going to create our styled map, or just pick one out. Then we need to create a Google Cloud account. So if you haven't done that already, it's a free account. Technically, you have to pay for Google Maps every month. Now, they give you a free allocation. They give you like $200 a month free. Most people aren't going to run into that where they're using so many map loads and so many API calls that they're going to run into a problem. But just know that you technically do need to like add a credit card and when you create your account. So you're going to create a Google Cloud account. It's pretty quick. But then once we've got our cloud account created, we're going to create a new project. We're going to get an API for that project, for the JavaScript API, and we're going to copy that API. So we need to remember where that is. Then we're going to go and we're going to enable those three APIs that I mentioned, the JavaScript, Places, and Geocoding APIs. Then we're going to create a new map. We're going to bring in those styles from Snazzy Maps. So we're going to paste those styles in. And then we're going to go into Webflow and we're going to set up our Webflow CMS, our Webflow site. We're going to make sure that we have our CMS set up. And we're going to add a map container to our CMS page. And we're going to paste in the code, and then we're going to customize the code. That is kind of our process. So we've got a lot to cover here. The one thing that's kind of cool too, that I'll just give you a little preview. With this custom map, we can put on a custom map marker, the little pin that's on the marker. So we're going to load in, and our map marker is going to look like this. It's the No Code Collab site. So our map marker is going to look like that, and that will be added on top of the map wherever our location is. So that's kind of fun. So let's head over to Snazzy Maps and let's choose our map style. So snazzymaps.com, what you can do is you can browse through their their maps. If you want to explore the different styles, you can filter by different things. So I'm going to pick a colorful one, and maybe I want to focus on one that's multicolored, and we'll just pick one here. I'm not actually going to use this on my site, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like. But let's do this. No, that one's a little bold. We'll go with this typology map. Okay, so this is the map that this is the map style that I'm going to add on my site. The important thing is if you want to customize the style, you can. I think you might need to create a free Snazzy Maps account. Oh, no, you can customize the style. It's going to allow you to update all of the different things without going into it too much. Really what we want and what we care about is this code right here, view code. And it's going to give us a whole JavaScript object or array. And what we want to do is we want to copy all of this code, okay? Because we are going to put it into our Google Cloud platform. So I'm going to copy all of that. And I'm actually just going to kind of save it and put it in I'm putting it in another file. So I'm just saving that for later. I'm going to come back to this later. So I've got my map style. Step 1, complete. Now I'm going to go over to my Google Maps platform, and I need to create an account. Now I've already created an account. There's tutorials and things on how to do that, but basically create your account. They're going to show you right away. They're going to show you an API. But if you've already created this account and you want to create a new project, what you do is you come up here, choose your project, or click on the project drop down. I'm going to click new project, and now I'm going to give this we're going to call this no code collab. And you select an organization, and I'm just going to add it to no code collab. There are some security things. I'm not, full disclosure, I'm not a Google Cloud platform expert by any means. So I might end up poking around on here. Sometimes I get turned around on this site. So if that is you, don't feel like it's your fault. I think it's easy to get turned around in here. So I've now created my project. I've got my no code collab project. Now I need to enable 3 tools, and those 3 tools were Places, JavaScript, and Geocoding. So I'm going to go to my Places API, and I'm going to make sure that that is enabled. Once that's enabled, I'm going to find my JavaScript and my Geocoding API and make sure that those are also enabled. So if I come over here, I've got my Geocoding API. So I'm looking under APIs here. I'm going to enable my Geocoding API. And then I'm going to make sure that my Maps JavaScript API is also enabled. I've now enabled all 3 APIs. So now what I want to do is create an API. So I'm going to head over to Credentials, and up at the top, I'm going to click on Create Credentials. I'm going to click on API Key, and it's going to give me my API key. Now I'm going to copy that to my clipboard, and then I'm going to click on Restrict Key. Now there's all these different ways that you can make sure that people aren't accessing your API without your permission, so that you don't end up running up a bill because someone else is using your API key. For this sake, I'm going to delete this when we're done here. So I'm just going to put application restrictions as just websites, nothing in particular. You might want to restrict this even further, but I'm going to put this as just websites, and then this is my no code collab API. I'm going to save that. And now I've got my API. If you ever need to find it again, you can come back under the Maps platform, the Google credentials, and the API. So now I've got my 3 APIs set up. I've got my 3 services set up. I've got my API key. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Map Management, and I need to create a new map. So I'm going to create a map. And my map name is just going to be called No Code Collab. And the map type is a JavaScript map. Save that off. Okay. So now I've got my map. Now you'll notice this thing showed up at map styles, and I have no map styles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on map styles. And I suppose I should have maybe made this bigger for you. Apologize. So I'm on map styles, and I'm going to create a map style. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to import that JSON. If I click on import JSON, then I'm going to head over. I'm going to grab all of that code that I copied from Snazzy Maps, and I'm just going to paste it right in there. So now I have a map that is custom designed from my Snazzy Maps. If I wanted to, I could open this in the style editor and I could tweak it further. But I'm just going to save that. And this is going to be called No Code Collab Map Style. So now what I can do is under my map styles, I can add a map, or I could also go to map management and I could add a map style. So I could come here and I could say my map style for No Code Collab Map is No Code Collab Map Style. So now I can see what I've done is I've created this map and I've associated a style with it. So you could have multiple styles and then later you're like, oh, I want to swap that out. I want to get a new style. So I save that off. And now what you are going to need to, at some point, you're going to need this map ID. So we're going to need to add that into our JavaScript code on Webflow. So let's just look at our checklist here. I've created my styled map from Snazzy Maps. I created my Google Cloud account. I've created a new project in Google Cloud. I created an API. I've copied it. I have enabled those three APIs, JavaScript, Places, and Geocoding. I've created a new map and a new map style. So I've done steps 1 through 7, and we are ready to go into Webflow. Once I'm in Webflow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new collection. And I'm going to call this locations. And I need a name because I want to have, I want to show the name of this location if someone clicks on the little map marker. But then I'm also going to, I need an address, a single line address. Because we're going to feed that single line address into Google as if we were searching for an address in Google. So I'm going to save that field. And then you could put descriptions, different things. So you might have other stuff. Really for the API, all we need really is our location, or all we need is the address. We're going to use location name for the map marker interaction though. So I am going to create this collection. So now we need to add locations. So I am going to add a new location, and the first location is going to be Graceland. I don't know the address of Graceland. Graceland address. Elvis Presley Boulevard. There we go. So I'm just going to copy that, and I need the one line address that I'm going to put into my Webflow collection. So let's create that. And then let's just do one more for good measure. Graceland, and let's do the Mall of America. Close to where I live. So we're going to do the Mall of America address. 60 East Broadway, Bloomington. Okay. So I now have 2 locations and 2 addresses. Okay, so I've created my locations. Now what I need to do is add the map to my collection item page. So I'm going to head to my CMS collection pages, load up my locations template. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a div I'm going to call that center map center. I've created a little class that's basically centering this whole thing in the middle of the page. Then I'm going to add a div, and I'm going to call this one map container. Now this is where my map is going to go. I'm going to give that a width of 40 rems and a height of 30 rems. And I like to give them a little background color so I know what I'm looking at when instead of being an invisible container. So I've got my map container there, and then let's also add a heading just so that I know what's going on. And let's do the heading from the name of the location. Okay. So got my map that's going to go right in this map container. Last thing I need to do is add an embed block. And I'm actually going to drag that right to the top of the page. And I'm going to head over to grab the code. You can grab this code from No Code Collab's tutorial page. But you're going to come in here and you are going to paste that code right in the embed element. So now we're going to go from top to bottom. And all you need to do is look for this square bracket and asterisk. If you can find those, swap out those items and you should be good to go. So here we go. We're going to swap out the address and I'm just going to add the single line address. My image URL. Now what I need to do is I need to go over to Figma and I'm actually going to make this shape. Let's make it, because my map was white, I'm going to make this shape have a background color of kind of a lighter blue so that it stands out a little bit. Now I'm going to export that. I'm going to come over, I'm going to save this, come over to my files, load that up, got my blue marker. And if I right click on the little arrow, I can get that link to that marker. So here we go. I'm going to paste that link right in there. So there's my link. Now remember my map ID. I'm going to head over. I'm going to grab my map ID from the cloud platform. So I'm going to click on there, copy my map ID. Pasted my map ID in. Now my Webflow map container ID. So what I need to do, I'm going to save this. I need to give this map container an ID. So I'm going to call this map dash container. Map dash container. I'm just going to copy that. So now I've got an ID of map container. And if I come in here, I can swap out my map container ID. Keep on going down. I've got my location name. So I'm going to put my name, my address. Now what this is they call an info window, and the info window pops up when you click on the little map marker. And so you can customize this with HTML and you can put whatever you want in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have the location name, the address, and then a little link that says view on Google Maps. And when you click on that, it's going to take you to Google Maps. So that is what we've got there. Scrolling down, last thing I need is right here, this API key here. So if I head back to No Code Collab, go to my credentials, I can copy my API key and paste it right in there. Save and close. So if you're curious at all what's going on, basically what we're doing is we're loading up this map. You've got a bunch of options. Zoom levels, 0s, you're going to see the whole world. 20 years, you're going to see the hair on people's heads. We're going to center it on our lat long. If you do have a place, like let's say you're in Texas and you want to start out with your map centered on Texas, you can start out with a default lat long. You just load that in there, find your spot, grab your lat long, put them in there. But then these are all controls. Do you want to view the zoom controls, the street view controls, all that kind of stuff? You can add true or false to any of these. But then basically what we're doing is we're grabbing our map container, our box, and then we're going and doing all those things that I laid out for you at the beginning of the video, where we are taking our address, we're finding the place, we're getting the lat long, we're loading it on the map, and this map ID has the custom styles associated with it. So we are loading it into that. So fingers crossed this all works. If we publish our site, we should see our new map come to life right on our page. So if you saw there, that was loading up my default location. And now it quickly loaded up my new location for the Mall of America. If I come back here and I go to, if I view Graceland, you can see there's a little delay because it's loading, but now I've got Graceland right in Tennessee. This map isn't all that helpful because there's no words on it. Now, the nice thing is if I wanted to switch this out, I could go back to Snazzy Maps. I could say this map is no good. I don't like this. And I want to use, I want to use a different colorful map. I want to use this one, this vintage old brown map. What I can do is I could copy all this code. I could copy all this code right in here. Head back over to my Google Map styles. Let's say I want to then update this map style. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete this map style. Actually, let's make a new map style. I'm going to create a style and import my JSON. There we go. There's my new, I'm going to save it. This is new no collab style. Save it. And now all I need to do is just come over. I can add my map from right here and I could say I want it to be on that. So now what we can see is I can do the new no code collab map style. So map management, map style is no code collab. I save that off. My map has been saved and it can take us, a minute or two, but eventually after a minute or two, your map style should update. So it took about 2 minutes, but now you can see that I've got a new map style loaded in. I didn't have to really touch Webflow at all. Sometimes, republishing your site will trigger it, but now I've got my new map style right on the page. So now you can see if I click on the location pin, I've got my name of the location, the street address, and then this link to view on Google Maps, which will pull this up on actual Google Maps. I can click out of it. So the nice thing about this is you've got an actual Google map right on your page, totally custom to your style, your brand. So that concludes our tutorial. You can now add custom maps to your Webflow collection items with custom map markers, info windows, map styles, and the whole 9 yards. My name is Kyle. I'm the creator of No Code Collab. If you've enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to our channel, and be sure to head over to our website where we have more tips, tricks, and tutorials for your next no-code build. With that, we will see you at the next tutorial.